brace yourself for the most turbulent, power-packed motorsport in the world. Never before in any program could you witness such devastating propulsion, massive convulsive force as on Challenge of Power.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Challenge of Power. From Columbus, Ohio, at the Ohio State Fairgrounds, it's monster truck side-by-side racing. Hi, everybody, I'm Dave Grimm, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of what promises to be some excellent competition of some of the world's greatest monster trucks. We've got trucks in here like the Hercules truck, also the Nightmare Chevrolet, and they'll be going up against Bigfoot, the Ford out of Missouri. We've got 11 trucks in the competition altogether. You can hear them firing up in the background, so let's go to the action right now. Well, here we go now. Steve has the Nightmare going up against Madman. It'll be Chevrolet against Dodge. This is our first heat in our first round of competition. Are you ready? Chevrolet fans, are you ready? There we go. Steve Hess comes off the line. He's not wasting any time. He's on him, and Madman is right on his tail. Here they go, side by side. Steve Hess is really getting bounced around. Madman's got problems. Here goes Steve Hess. Woo! Oh, man, does that take your breath away?
Steve Hess and Nightmare win it.
Steve Hess, a great run for him. Steve, whatever you did, it was right because a spectacular run for Nightmare, too.
Well, we had a lot of work to do today. We busted a couple hydraulic lines, and we busted a tie rod. Tie rod's welded on there. We're just giving it our best shot.
Sort of praying that it holds together.
We sure are.
All right, looked like you really got up awful high on that last jump over the cars. Was that by design?
No, I hit it just a little too hard and got into it a little late.
All right, what will be your strategy going into the other rounds of eliminations?
Got to back out of it just a little bit and just kind of pace the race tonight.
Try to run a little smoother race?
Yeah, a little bit smoother than what we did last night.
All right, you beat Bigfoot's time here tonight. Do you think you got a shot to beat him?
We're going to give it our best shot.
Steve Hess always gives it his best shot. From Roanoke, Indiana, Steve Hess and Nightmare 2.
The second round continued with Dan Tassone in Star Monster facing off against Crimson Crusher with Dale Hancock at the wheel. It was a well-matched heat with both super trucks neck and neck off the first pile of cars. Crimson Crusher had a narrow lead at the midpoint and pushed ahead to win it by only a few feet. John Breen and Mad Dog were up next against Dale Hassel in the Ohio Earthshaker. The Earthshaker hesitated off the line, and Mad Dog took the lead all the way for an easy win. John Breen won a spot in the next round and a shot at the finals. Let's get set now for the first heat of the second round of competition.
All right, here we go now, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be Nightmare against Star Monster. This is going to be wild. This is going to be woolly. They're going to go for it all. It'll be GMC against Chevrolet. Pick your favorites. Here we go. It's going to be wild.
Nightmare beat out Bigfoot as the fastest qualifier of the evening. He's been plagued with breakdowns all season, but this may be his night.
In the right lane, it'll be Nightmare 2. Here comes Star Monster. In the east lane, they're up and over. We almost had another truck going over sideways. Nightmare wins it. Well, here's a guy that's got to be a little bit nervous after the things that happened earlier tonight. And I'll tell you, the heartbeat of America today's Chevy truck, your heart's got to be beating a little fast. What happened out there, Steve?
I really don't know, but it's beating fast. You're right.
All right, now you got off to sort of a slow start. I think he beat you over the first set of cars, but by the middle of the course, you really started to take control.
Yeah, I guess I was a little lax of seeing what happened earlier, and so I got back into it, and maybe a little too hard.
All of a sudden, you were sideways up on the right two tires. You get a little nervous there?
I was real nervous.
Wild and crazy. Well, congratulations. Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Steve Hess out of Roanoke, Indiana. They love him here in Columbus, Ohio.
The second heat of round two will feature a rookie versus an old-timer. Newcomer Bob Breen in the Wild Hare going against veteran Dale Hancock in Crimson Crusher.
Wild Hair, here he comes off the line, a little slow, a slow start for Wild Hair. And Dale Hancock with Crimson Crusher has taken the early lead. But here comes Wild Hair. Wild Hair is caught up. It's a dead heat. And it looks like Wild Hair has done it. Oh, my word. Wild Hair, who set at least 3 seconds on the starting line and barely moved, caught him by the mid part of the race and finished him off in the end in almost a dead heat here tonight. Wild and crazy in Columbus, Ohio here tonight. Wild Hair continues to look strong. The Breen brothers have both of their trucks left in competition here tonight.
Here's John Breen up next in Mad Dog.
The other half of the Breen Boys racing team. It'll be John Breen out of Jefferson City, Missouri, a 454 Chevrolet in a 1986 Chevrolet Blazer. How do you like this one? Mad Dog going against Mad Man. A couple of mad vehicles out here tonight. Mad Man is driven by Tom Bites out of Catawissa, Pennsylvania. Hits a 1979 Dodge and a 1970 supercharged 440 Dodge engine. He's got a 4-speed Allison 66-inch high Goodyear Terra tires. This would be quite an upset if the Dodge beat the Chevrolet here tonight. Here they go now. It's almost a dead heat so far. And here comes John Breen and Mad Dog. Mad Dog continues on. Mad Dog with an easy win here tonight as he comes over the cars. John Breen wins it in a cakewalk here tonight.
The first heat of the semi-final round will feature Steve Hess in Nightmare. He lost a front wheel in Allentown 2 weeks ago, but that hasn't stopped him from pushing his rig to the limit tonight. He'll have to face Bob Breen in Wild Hair, running in only his second competition as a monster truck driver.
Out Chevrolet against Chevrolet. Here we go. The heartbeat of America. This is what it's for here tonight. Here comes Nightmare. Here comes Wild Hair. Nightmare is on it. Nightmare is on it, but here he goes. Wild Hair, Nightmare. Oh, wow. Woo! Well, things are really beginning to heat up now as we're into the semifinals. Wild Hair with Bob Breen driving was the favorite here in Columbus, but Nightmare 2, driven by Steve Hess in Indiana, came through in the end. Bob Breen got off the side of the track here and had caused a lot of people to jump the fence here, myself included. But Nightmare drove a smart race, and he will be in the finals.
Monster Truck Master John Breen in the legendary Mad Dog. This is the first monster rig designed and built especially for this type of obstacle course racing, light and fast. He'll be going out against John Kwasniewski in Buffalo Tremor. He put away the Ohio Earthshaker to win his spot in the semis, and he's determined to go all the way.
Here we go now. It's the Buffalo Tremor against Mad Dog. We're ready to do battle. Here we go. One of these trucks is going to go to the finals. Here comes Mad Dog. Here comes Buffalo Tremor. Mad Dog, Buffalo Tremor. Mad Dog, Buffalo Tremor. Here we go. Oh, look at the cars. Look at the cars. Oh, my word. Woo!
Mad Dog wins and advances to the final heat.
Well, the drivers now are heading back for the starting lines, and it comes down to Nightmare and Mad Dog. Mad Dog once again getting a good start off the line. The Buffalo Tremor maybe a little bit on the slow side, but halfway through the course, the Buffalo Tremor caught up, and it was just in the last 50 feet over the junk automobiles at the end of the course that Mad Dog won it. Well, here we go now. It's the finals. They're going to come right back. They're not going to let these engines cool down at all. It'll be Nightmare, driven by Steve Hess out of Roanoke, Indiana, with this beautiful Chevrolet. He finished second at the earlier contest, and tonight he's got a great shot to win. He'll be going against a veteran, experienced driver, the driver for Mad Dog, John Breen, out of Jefferson City, Missouri. He's done everything in monster truck racing, a real pro. It'll be Chevrolet against Chevrolet, a real heads-up battle, and may the best truck win. Here we go. All right, they're bringing him out of the staging lanes right now. It'll be Mad Dog on the right lane. It'll be Nightmare on the left lane. We're ready to do battle. Both of these drivers are accomplished drivers. Either one of them would just love to win here tonight. They're going to go all out. The green flag is down. Here we go. Nightmare. Mad Dog. We are on it. Here. Oh, Mad Dog is getting over the side of the cars. Here we go. Nightmare. Well, look at him go. Look at him go. Up, up, and over. And Nightmare is going to the smoke and the dirt. It looks like Nightmare edged it out. Mad Dog had some problems here. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, the heartbeat of America. Today's Chevy truck. Nightmare, here he is, your winner. All right, the engine looking a little hot out there. A lot of blow by, but a very happy guy tonight as he takes off his helmet, and coming up right next to him, the guy that takes second place tonight, John Breen. There it is. Nightmare 2 wins it out of the state of Indiana. Missouri will finish number 2. Let's bring down our first and second place finishers here at trackside. Steve Hess, congratulations for winning, and I guess I got to say all that work today was worth it.
It was. It's good to be in the winner's circle for a change. I'll tell you, second place for a long time to get first place is great.
I tell you, the 2 hours here tonight in Columbus, Ohio, had to seem like 6 hours to you.
It did. I'll tell you, after that last run, we about put it over sideways. I was ready to give up, but it came back around. That side was running good, and we're real happy to be in the winner's circle.
Okay, well, congratulations. You got a lot of fans here from the Hoosier State. They love you here in Buckeye Land. Again, congratulations. All right, let's bring in our second place finisher right now. And here's a guy, I think if you get beat by Steve Hess, John Breen, you still got to feel pretty good finishing second place.
Oh, that's right. He's a tough competitor, and I got a little bit of crooked, and I just backed off, and I'm just going to let her go with that.
I tell you, you got a big smile on your face. You'd like to have a rematch of this again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, on the other lane.
Yeah, on the other lane. Well, I tell you, congratulations. A good run tonight. And best of luck on your next race.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, John Breen out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Very popular here in Columbus as well.
Bring together a couple 100,000 people in motorsport activity, put them on a beach, and you've got yourself lots of fun times. The New Jersey Hot Rod Association gets set to stage Thunder on the Beach 3. As they match up, should be good. The winners advance on. The losers get to play on the beach. First round, Thunder on the Beach. They're all yanking for $40,000 in that purse. And again, a good first round matchup here. David Morris in the Equalizer out of Springfield, Tennessee. A good-looking truck, plenty of speed here with good qualifying effort. Against Eric Tack driving a Bigfoot Ford. Bob and Marilyn Chandler out of St. Louis, Missouri. Again, Bigfoot, a tough round in qualifying there. He had an 8:14, whereas the Equalizer had a pretty good run at a 7:20. Should be a good first-round matchup. Let's see who the winner is here. Once the flag goes, they're on their own. Horsepower on the line as we get set for the first pairing in round number 1. Really finding his way through the sand there. Looked like Equalizer at the very end. Bigfoot may have got him on the fly. Your winner is Eric Tack, and Bigfoot had to catch up some ground against Equalizer. He moves on to the next round. A good victory for Eric Tack in the Bigfoot Ford. Next up is Run and Make, also out of Hazelwood, Missouri. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, one of the WCW NWO wrestling trucks out here. The big rippling biceps. He's got the near lane, and Sky Hartley behind the wheel. Sky, a real high flyer there. And let's see if he can put the old Hollywood Hogan NWO into victory lane. Over in the far lane, it'll be the War Wagon. Jeff Cook behind the wheel, garaged out of Auburn, Indiana. And a beautiful looking classic truck. This thing can move. He'll have his work cut out for him as he takes on the big Ford horsepower on those Firestone tires of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Both drivers ready to go. It's reaction time here. You've got lots of sand between the start line and the finish line, and you've got to be able to make the distance at the very beginning. Boy, a tough one there for Sky Hartley. Takes the win, but a very tough start for him and an even rougher landing. But the horsepower in between the set of wrecked cars definitely all belongs to Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He'll move on into the next round. Sky Hartley with the win. A good-looking truck made for television. Certainly looks good right on the beach. Hollywood Hogan strutting his stuff on the New Jersey coast. Our next pair right here, two evenly matched vehicles. It is Dia Wilson, the Virginia Giant, qualifying at a 9:19. Pat Suma brings the Thrasher. He's from not too far away in New Milford, Connecticut. The Thrasher at 8:15. That was his time in the qualification route. Two evenly matched vehicles, and again, This track here is so tough for a number of guys to figure out. You've got to have the right amount of wheel slippage there on the starting line. You've got to have good reaction time. You got to keep the vehicle moving straight forward. That may sound easier than it is. They're 10,000 pounds, by the way. Let's give them the green. Dio Wilson's going to walk away with that one right there. A better reaction time, quite possibly, over Pat Suma. Maybe something on the starting line wrong with the Thrasher. But Dio Wilson, been at this a long time, former drag racer, takes the Virginia Giant back to the garage area and gets set for the next round. Dennis Anderson and Grave Digger out of Poplar Branch, North Carolina, brings the truck a couple hundred miles up north to New Jersey Beach. Notice the rear tire, we'll talk about it later, but he's cut some stuff off there, invested a little money in a paddle tire that should work well on the sand. In the far lane, it's Tom Meents in the Monster Patrol. Now, this former mud racer is very quick on the starting line. And if you want to beat Dennis Anderson, that's the place where you've got to do it. Anderson, a whole lot of horsepower and a ragged edge driving style, gets to victory lane a lot. Tom Meents will have to be on top of his game, and a good start is where it's all going to happen. Look at that, almost by an entire truck length, and he got it, folks, right at the starting line. Tom Meents got the whole shot. The old mud racer picks up a win against the Grave Digger. And it is time for the second round. Should be a very good matchup. Remember, our monsters are marching towards a $40,000 purse and their own set of bragging rights. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher, no stranger to racing on this beach. Been here for all the Thunder on the Beach series. He matches up against Eric Tack in Bigfoot. It is a classic Ford in the near lane versus Chevrolet in the far lane. Tack against Porter, Bigfoot against Crusher. It doesn't get any better than this. Again, whoever starts off the cleanest, the quickest, could end up moving into the semifinal round. But it all starts right here. Eric Tack, Bigfoot, Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter will take the win. Remember, Gary Porter had a bye in the first round, so this is really his first racing experience. He did not want to lose this one. Porter had the advantage going off the starting line, had the advantage in between the obstacles, had a pretty rough landing, but he's moving on to the second round. Team Bigfoot, right now, they're moving back to the trailer. Eric Tack will have to wait for another day. Your winner, Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. Next up, Sudden Impact. John Seesock out of Frackville, Pennsylvania. He's moving up next. He had a good qualifying effort right now. And let's see what Seesock can do here as he gets set to take his trip down the beach. Up against Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now, Sky Hartley is behind the wheel here. Sky is a runner for Team Bigfoot. This is essentially a Bigfoot Ford, except for the skin right there. Muscles are rippling, and from one coast to the next coast, everyone knows about Hulk Hogan. Sky Hartley hopes that the bragging rights are on his side here. He's got the near lane, the far lane, Sudden Impact, and John Seesock. This should be a pretty good matchup right here. You'd almost have to give the advantage to Sky Hartley in experience, but you never know what will happen on the beach. Seesock right now with Sudden Impact lines it up. He's ready for his trip down the 180-foot strip of sand. As they stage and move to the line right now, those Firestones getting set to grip into the starting line. Seesock, far lane, Hartley, near lane. Seesock had the advantage coming off the line, but all that big 572 cubic inches of Ford horsepower puts the Hollywood Hulk Hogan into the next round. And folks in New Jersey, if you like wrestling or any place, Hulk Hogan beat a man. Out of Hazelwood, Missouri, Sky Hartley gets another win. Gets to strut his stuff once again in front of the full grandstands here at Wildwood, New Jersey. What a beautiful afternoon it is for a little rumble and thunder on the beach. Monster Patrol Tom Meents out of Paxton, Illinois. This guy very tough off the line. I think that mud racing really helps his reaction time as he gets set here in the second round. He will move up against Dio Wilson, a guy that is a wily veteran, been around for a number of years, has been drag racing, been involved in tractor pulling, and right now he's behind the wheel of a 10,000-pound monster truck, garaged out of four-wheel drive truck country in Winchester, Virginia. And a new look this year for the Virginia Giant, new paint scheme, and underneath that skin, There's some innovations right there. So we'll see what can happen here as Means gets ready in Monster Patrol over the far side against Dale Wilson in the Virginia Giant. As we've seen so far, whoever gets off that line the quickest usually ends up moving on to the next round. Second round action continues. They're all looking towards the semis. Dale Wilson near lane, far lane is Tom Means in the Monster Patrol. Even off the line, but Tom Means a straighter run right there. He ends up winning by a truck length and a half, and he will move back on. That guy from Paxton, Illinois can definitely make it happen. He moves on to the semifinal round, and it should be a good one. You don't have to discuss reaction time with this guy. Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger out of North Carolina. Probably one of the most recognized monster trucks in the entire world. This guy always lives it on the razor's edge. Should be a good fight right here. The Gravedigger against Hulk Hogan. Sky Hartley against Dennis Anderson. This should be a good matchup here. Experience on the far side with Dennis Anderson against the raw talent and the big, heavy foot of Sky Hartley. Good picture of Sky right there as he gets set to roll into the staging beams. It is Hollywood Hogan and Sky Hartley, Dennis Anderson, and the Gravedigger. Great run going for, oh my goodness, he's up and over. Sky Hartley does on endo right there and still clocks up 520. But the Hollywood Hulk Hogan shredding some parts on the beach.
Well, the run started off great. It just felt fine. I hit the second set of cars, and all of a sudden it just didn't have any power. I don't know if I used all the motor I had and couldn't pull out of it, and it just seemed like the motor just shut right off.
Let's take a look at this in replay right now. Takes the first set really well, under control. Now, here's where the problem comes as he starts to nose over a little bit, and no matter how much horsepower you have, it may have been impossible to be able to drive underneath that once again. Kind of nosed it over. That's what flipped it. You see the drive line, the shock mounts coming back out. Different angle right here. See, under control, into no man's land. Then he starts to nose back over. And once you start bouncing around those front tires, it's awful tough to correct that situation. And right now it comes down to these two trucks. The Monster Patrol, Tom Means up against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Now, Tom Means has been very quick off the starting line. Dennis has had some problems, as we saw in the semifinal round, but he's been able to score some wins. So the guy out of Paxton, Illinois right now has got his work cut out for him, but Dennis also has got his work cut out for him as well. He's got to be a little bit relaxed on the starting line, can't hurry, but you've got to have all your ducks in a row here as they're marching towards their share of the $40,000 purse here at Thunder on the Beach 3. Monster trucks getting staged right now. They're 10,000-pound vehicles running on alcohol, supercharged engines. They're on it. Another close side-by-side matchup, and from our angle, it looks like a pick'em. Almost a photo finish right there. We're going to have to give the advantage, however, to Mr. Tom Means, who got it at the starting line and was able to run the quickest and straightest run. The Monster Patrol takes home the crown of Thunder on the Beach 3.
Yeah, it's a real tough track. You know, the sand out here can be really hard on your motor. And, you know, all the trucks are pretty much on the same level plateau, and it's a lot tougher than it used to be. There ain't no gimmies out here. You know, it turned out really well for us.
Congratulations, man. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our champion today. Tom and the Money, money, money.
We're back at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. We're going to tell you about the three types of action you're going to see today for the monster truck category. An attempt to set a world's record for the longest jump. There is a starting line for this competition. Again, the yardstick determines who's going to win. But he rolls into the starting area. All drivers have the same amount of distance to get a run at the first car. Then you got 14 other cars in which to try to make your landing. Green flag comes out for the Iron Eagle. Let's see what he's going to do. Dale Hassel with the Iron Eagle Ford. Whoa, Hassel goes over, takes the brakes, shuts it down just in time. Heads up driving. Hassel, keep things squared away. As soon as the front brakes were locked up, he was in trouble. When that front wheel stops turning,
give this young man a big
the back end's going to keep going.
Hassel
Hassel able to get out of a big mess right there with the Iron Eagle.
He runs hard, don't you forget. He'll run hammer down.
Hercules truck comes out now. Tim Tesmer look for a rock and roll ride right here. Sunday afternoon in Indiana. Going to try to really get some air. Nose over. This guy's really got to throttle up to get out of trouble. Tesmer has no problems. Drives the 1990 Chevrolet.
Let's give Hercules a big hand. You know, Tim Tesmer. 45 feet. 45 feet.
We'll be putting the distances up on the screen as the score group gets them. We keep moving on to the next round of competition as we wait for the next truck to come out. Right now, Weapon 1 comes out. Jerry Richmond, we told you the story about this guy trying to make a name for himself. Been playing the game for a long time. Went to the Chevrolet in 1991. He's going to have a beautiful truck. He's looking for the super combination to get the long distance today. Richmond. Boy, they are having to drive them hard. If anything were to happen to these trucks while they're flying through the air where they did not have horsepower, they all would wind up on their heads. They got to land and then throttle to pull themselves out.
55 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, 55 feet. Give him a quarter. Now, bottom Big Red right there.
Big Red out of Nebraska comes to the starting line. It's the only competition he's running, the Big Red truck.
Ladies and gentlemen, he was your winner last time.
Full of air. Good jump. Gary Schramm, Lincoln, Nebraska, makes the first shot. They're going to mark it, and it will go from there.
What about the young man, Nebraska, Big Red? Let's give him a big hand right there. The man to beat.
Steve Hess went back into the pit area. He's having to go in later in the field. He was to jump earlier. Had a traction bar problem. They went back. All the other crews jumped in to help him get to this point. So the GMC of Steve Hess will be in competition. The wild child, if you will. If he were a street fighter, I guarantee you he would take the first swing at you. Let's see what the Nightmare is going to do. Hess actually back throttle. I don't know what the problem was.
Wait a minute now. Ladies and gentlemen, see what we do. We got a kill box in this thing. Take him back. He was ignited.
What happened? They run a safety kill box. Now Hess is backing up. An indication that the box was cutting out on him. I said it was obvious right before the start that the vehicle backpedaled. Wasn't the case at all. It did slow down, but it wasn't the driver backpedaling. The kill box had a short in it, and Hess immediately says, hey, I want to get a piece of this thing. I'm going back to the starting line. Give me another kill box, and I'm going to show you what the GMC will do. I predict in 30 seconds, you're going to see one of the wildest monster truck launches ever. Hess at 100%. Here we go. Let's watch it.
Let's give him a big hand. Ladies and gentlemen, what about the man from Columbia, Indiana, Columbia City, Indiana, the Nightmare, Steve Hill!
Boy, the crowd is pumped. Hess is working the crowd to perfection. Archie Coleman got him going. Everybody's having a ball in Indianapolis, Indiana. And Hess is still showing off a little bit.
Listen to this. 65 feet. Let's give him a big hand.
65 feet. He's the new leader. 65 feet.
Number one right there. Doing a fine job.
He's not going to let. Look at this. Look at Hess come out. Bam! Right over the first jump. Now he's going to try to throttle up a little bit out of shape. Over. One more time. Hess trying to drive it out. He's spinning around. We can't see him in the dust. Hess brings it out. Breaks the left rear suspension. What a job of driving. Hess completely broke the suspension. The crowd is going nuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Hills! Nightmare! What did you think when you cleared that first touch of cars? You was a little bit out of sorts.
Well, I knew I was a little crooked, but I was running a second and a half behind John, and I knew I had to hit third gear, and I knew when we hit that second ramp that I hope she held together when she landed.
When you hit the ground there, when she come down, it's like Army said a while ago, you throttled it and brought it back out of it, and I tell you what, if you didn't have all that horsepower, you couldn't do that.
That's right. With the BS blower on there and the horsepower we have, it takes that now to be competitive, and I got to thank all my sponsors, GMC and everybody that's helped me get this far, and especially the crowd. Without the support of them, you can tell they're in favor of Nightmare.
Yes, gentlemen. Hayes, what about him, ladies and gentlemen? Nightmare, Steve Hayes. What about him, ladies and gentlemen? That's the way it is when they come to the Nationals here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Steve Hayes doing a wonderful job. Now, back to competition.
And while we've got a break in the action, we're going to go to something a little bit different. Monster truck competition here at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Let's go to the action right now. It'll be based on time. Whoever runs over the cars on the obstacle course the fastest will be the winner. 7 in the class, and they're all good ones. First up is Gary DeMauro, the 36-year-old driver of this unusual 1946 Chevrolet tow truck. And the time, 35.19 seconds for Gary DeMauro with Taurosaurus Rex. Anthony Fortier, 25-year-old, the Pony Express from Bloomfield, New Jersey. Here he goes. And the time, 34.48 seconds for Anthony. Here's a beautiful machine. Bob Fisher out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. It's a 1988 Ford. He's got a 460 cubic inch Ford engine under the hood, 5-ton rear end, rather, with planetaries, and a Rockwell transfer case. Here he comes, the Liquidator. And the time, 28.54 seconds for the beautiful yellow Ford driven by Bob Fisher of New Jersey. Here's Walking Tall. Here is the hometown favorite from right here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Tom Bites. Here we go now. The 30-year-old driver needs to beat 22 seconds. Tom Bites from right here in Bloomsburg. And the time for Tom Bites from right here in Bloomsburg, 28.03 seconds. Up next is Kid Rarick from Catawissa, Pennsylvania. This is a 1979 Chevy S10. Thunder Chicken. Now, they come up with some pretty unusual names. The flag here at our start-finish line. Here comes the Beast, driven by Bob Holman. This will be our final truck in the first round of competition with monster trucks. Out of Dayton, Ohio, he's a professional monster truck driver. This is the 1989 Chevrolet C3500. 27.32 is the time for the Beast.
Welcome to this Monster Trucks Challenge Series event brought to you by Hart Productions here in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
With a near sellout crowd, this week's Monster Truck Challenge consists of 11 trucks, all of which have had a qualifying run to determine placement in this first round of competition. As the trucks head for the starting line, remember, these are elimination races, and a losing truck can only return if the winning truck is unable to run.
Chevy versus Ford. Okay, here we go. Pennsylvania, Mountain Monster Ford machine
against the Star Monster Chevrolet. Dan Tassone driving the Star Monster. Kid Rarick driving the Pennsylvania Mountain Monster. Little flashing lights there in front of the Ford says they're ready. Green flag, here they go. Oh, the Ford hitting the cars just a little bit ahead of the Chevy. Oh, Chevy Ford gets crossed up, Chevy taking the lead. Whoa! Holy cow! The Star Monster comes right on through.
Whoa! Next up, Bill Weaver Jr.
Okay, here he is, Rambo. Rambo goes up against the Alien. Rambo, driven by Bill Weaver Jr., 17 years old, probably the youngest driver here tonight, and no doubt one of the youngest drivers in competition, going up against the Alien. Alien against Rambo, here they go. Oh, they both come out hard. They both go for the cars, hit the cars at the same time. Over the cars at the same time. The Rambo is a little bit ahead. It's neck and neck. They're going for it. Rambo goes way up. He's going for it. He jumps and hops. It looks like Rambo.
That could be the best time of the night.
Great run by Rambo, Bill Weaver Jr. Bill, you have to be well pleased with that run. You came onto the cars against the Alien, head-to-head over the first round of cars. You seem to accelerate going down here between the two. Did you know it was on the line?
Yeah, I figured it was. One thing I'd like to say is special thanks to my dad for building me the truck and for everybody that helped me build the truck. I really appreciate it.
As you go into the next round of competition, what are you looking for? Do you get a better feel for the cars? What do you think about as you're going to go down that track the next time as the competition gets tougher and tougher?
Flat open, wide open.
Okay, you heard it. Bill Weaver Jr. Next round of competition, Chevy versus Chevy, will be the Mad Dog, John Breen. And here's a guy that's been down the track many, many times. He's been in the winner's circle so many times you can't keep track anymore. And the Stroh's Strider Chevy Power also. Okay, first time through, Mad Dog had a 17.31, which was number 4, so he must win to stay in. And here he goes. Mad Dog coming out, hits the cars first, just a little bit ahead of the Stroh's Strider. Mad Dog sort of gets squirrely. They're sort of neck and neck with Mad Dog now out of the number 1 spot, about a truck length ahead. Both of them hit the cars simultaneously, and the Stroh's Rider comes bouncing down in the center lane, but it looks like Mad Dog number 1.
We got some smoke coming out here.
Good run by John Breen's Mad Dog machine.
Let's hear it for John Breen and Mad Dog. How did you think you were going to do in this tonight?
Oh, I think I'll do all right. The course is pretty bouncy. I don't know what the problem is, but having a little trouble with steering, but we're going to try to do our best.
It was pretty close, neck and neck there right near the end, but you just gave it enough to get you over the edge.
Yeah, I was kind of watching him out the side there and didn't, trying to just keep ahead of him a little ways.
Is everything running pretty well so far?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, well, you're still in it, so let's see how you can do a little bit later, huh?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, congratulations. John Breen and Mad Dog. Let's hear it for him, folks.
Next round of competition, and they're lined up at the end of the track. The Chevy-powered machine. Bob Breen, the Chevy-powered wired hair, and the Madman, Kid
Rarick.
Right.
I know you like it.
Rarick in the Madman Dodge. Where's our Dodge fans? Where's our Chevy fans? Cheer him on, Bob Breen. He's up and over.
There he goes.
Chevy lead. Oh, he does a sideways snitch. He looks out the right side, sees the Madman, and then goes for it. Up and over, and Bob Breen, Madman.
Bob Breen in wild hair is really showing promise. It's his first night as a monster truck driver with an impressive lead right off the start. He advances to the semifinals in this Monster Truck Challenge Series.
Next round, the next round of competition here between Bill Weaver Jr. and Rambo. and John Breen's Mad Dog. And Steve, this should be quite a challenge. Both of these guys running extremely strong, both of them with excellent times, both of them veterans when it comes to drive it out here, and it's going to be interesting to see who can withstand the heat of competition. Rambo and Mad Dog. Rambo, they hit the cars simultaneously. It's Mad Dog and Rambo. Mad Dog and Rambo, they're neck and neck. They're going for it. And they both go for it, and it is, oh my! A dead heat, too close to call down here. I'll tell you.
John Breen? I couldn't tell it was so close.
I have no idea.
It was John Breen, Mad Dog, the winner. Sorry, Rambo fans expecting it, but it looked like John Breen nosed in at the end. You talk about close. Look at the final. John Breen only won by 0.3 of a second, 13.33. Rambo 13.64. That was one heck of a race. Let's have one more hand. That was a terrific race. Rambo and Mad Dog.
This time around, through their times and also breakage, we had some that could not come back, so their opponent did move up. It'll be the Ohio Earthshaker going against Kevin Darney, and he'll be driving the Alien, I believe it is. The Alien with a little bit different type of tire. Green flag, here they go. Hitting the cars about the same. The Alien out in front by little. Alien ahead by a couple lengths. Alien still ahead. The Alien, whoa, does a jump. The Alien out there, and it looks like it would be the Alien.
The Alien, driven by Kevin Dabney, seemed to start a little slow earlier tonight, but because of breakdowns, he was able to return, and he's now back in the competition.
So the final sets up the Prowler and John Cisak at Sudden Impact. But before we do that, a little freestyle. Let's find out what the drivers think about showing off.
Let's talk about freestyling. That's like everyone's number one. They wait around for that, like bull riding in rodeo. They'll stay there all night long just to watch the bull riders. They stay here all night long and watch all freestyle. You like freestyling?
Yeah, definitely. Freestyle is always exciting. Basically, just go out there and see if you can be as big or bigger fool than the guy before you. And you go out there and see if you can jump higher than him. Do a bigger wheelie and get more crowd applause, because it's the people up in the stands is why we're out here.
You hit it on the head. When you hear them crowds raising and standing, to go forward again. That plays a big part on how it picks you up out there, don't it?
Yeah, it sure does. It really gets you going, and the fans might not believe it, but when they really cheer for us, we can hear them over these engines.
From freestyling monster trucks to a monster of a different color, it is, from the prehistoric reaches of the ocean, the Megasaurus. Let's take a look as the Megasaurus not only rips a car in half, but has a nice tasty little brunch here on the beach. Megasaurus, one of the transforming robots that uses hydraulics to literally rip that car in half. A nice fire show right here. All brought to you by the good folks at Innovative Entertainment, George Carpenter and the gang, with their crowd-pleasing, kid-pleasing Megasaurus. Always a lot of fun as he takes a big chomp out of that car. The crowd most definitely loves it. One good thing about Thunder on the Beach here, the folks at the New Jersey Hot Rod Association and everyone else come together to give some good quality entertainment for the folks here on the East Coast. And, of course, putting everybody to work right here as the fire department goes into cleanup after the Megasaurus. Barefoot will match up against Excalibur. Chuck Pauken behind the wheel. This will be our first matchup here in first round competition, and it'll be interesting to see how the starting line is affected by these 10,000-pound race trucks. The first two guys out of the box, the winner moves on to the next round. The loser, he gets a sideline pass for the rest of the weekend. But it'll be interesting to see if all three different parts of the racetrack are going to come together here. Talking, moving into the next round. Boy, the track looked like it held up very, very well for both competitors. The Excalibur into round number 2. Next up out of the pit area from Wadesboro, North Carolina, it's Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He's got a big tall gear in there, and let's see how that'll do here in the right lane. He will match up against Dennis Anderson out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. So a couple of Tar Heels going at it here on the beach in New Jersey. Dennis Anderson wants to win and wants to move into the finals. He ended up second yesterday, a spot he does not like at all. Matter of fact, they brought a new race truck in from North Carolina so he can run it here. This will be a great matchup. Both of these guys very experienced. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, a guy that lets it all hang out. Gary Porter, maybe a little bit more technical as a driver, maybe a little bit more reliant on the chassis setup for his Carolina Crusher. Right down to it, put the experience and the setup, maybe that tall gear of Gary Porter as he takes the Carolina Crusher into the next round with the victory. We'll keep a close eye on that starting line to see how that launch pad develops here as we continue moving through round number 1. Pat Suma gets a good jump off the line and above and beyond, but he gets held up a little bit, a little bogged down, so give the win to Bob Fisher in the Liquidator. He'll move on to round number 2 as that left lane has got the winners so far today. We get set for another round here in the first round. Bigfoot takes on the Blue Ribbon Bandit. Call it the upset of round number 1. Tony Farrell puts Bigfoot back into the loser's bracket right there. Farrell with a big first round win. He's in the left lane right now. The starting line may cause some problems for competitors. Let's see what the rest of the field can do here. Tom Meets on the far side, and in the near lane, it's Tony Farrell in the Blue Ribbon Bandit. The winner moves on to the finals. The Bandit gets held up in the near lane by a little tough track condition. Tom Meets Soldiers on. He'll move on to the finals. Monster Patrol making his way back to the garage area. The finals coming up next. We will need to find out who the king of the beach is going to be. The final round matches Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher and Tom Meets and the Monster Patrol. So we've got a whole lot of horsepower up against a whole lot of experience. Carolina Crusher in the right lane. This lane has caused some problems for a number of competitors because the water's starting to pool up there a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing, Gary Porter's been at this game long enough. He knows how to get through some of those rough and tough spots. Should be a good final with Tom Meets staging up right now and Gary Porter set to bring the Crusher to the line. Should be an awfully great final, and what a way to end a pretty good weekend here in Wildwood, New Jersey with the finals of Thunder on the Beach. Great side-by-side monster truck race. Gary Porter and Tom Meets just about even as they come over the first set of cars. And then Porter with a little bit more horsepower picks up a victory here. His first trip to Wildwood, New Jersey, and this Thunder on the Beach. But Gary Porter picks up the win there. And pretty good effort by Tom Meets as well. That former mud racers had a little bit of fun here this weekend as well. So second place, not a bad shot when you're going up against one of the truly tough guys in monster truck racing. Oh, and look at this. Time for a little fun as they both have a couple of minutes just to kind of clown around a little bit. When you got 10,000 pounds in front of you and you're done racing, why not take an opportunity just to kind of go up and see what you can do? Cutting some cookies, and let's see what Tom Meets can do. This guy has been all over the United States, hung up on a banner right here, and he's just kind of out having a little free-for-all as Gary Porter does some high-flying acrobatics here. So Tom Meets getting set to go back to Illinois, and what a problem this is going to be as he lays it over on its top, out messing around on the beach.
What do you say? What do you say?
And we sure did. I mean, it was luck. We really worked for it here at Wildwood. The truck, we was having problems with it. We found out in qualifying with our timing. We couldn't keep the timing, at the degree we wanted it. But, we checked it just about every round. the lanes were playing a big role in who was winning the races today, and sometimes I got stuck in a bad lane, and somehow I was just able to pull it off. Well, they don't get any better than that. With me and Monster Patrol in the finals, luckily I won the race, and then doing the freestyle, I'd have to say he won the freestyle. You can't have a better finale of a show than what that was.
Well, congratulations to Gary Porter on taking the win today, and also congratulations to Dave Sutton and the New Jersey Hot Rod Association for putting on another spectacular event here in Wildwoods, New Jersey. I'm Doc Riley. We'll talk to you again real soon. Join us again next week for another edition of Wheel Power.
Power Pack Motorsports. It's your ringside ticket to excitement.
Okay, Monster Truck fans, you asked for it. Now, here it comes. The kaleidoscope of some of the most memorable moments of Monster Truck racing.
He got beat by Gravedigger yesterday. He gets beat by me today. And I'm the happiest guy around.
Monster Madness. Exciting interviews with the legendary drivers.
I finally beat Bigfoot, the Kong brothers, the whole 9 yards.
From the Monster Truck Challenge at the Atlanta Stadium to indoor action at St. Paul, Minnesota. Yes, they're all here in one 60-minute video for only $9.95 plus shipping. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Charlotte, Indianapolis, California, and more.
He's the best. He's good. But I'm going to try to put it on it tonight.
Monster Madness is a must for Monster Truck fans. More than just a crash tape, but an in-depth view of what makes these men of steel push their monsters to the limit. Remember, only $9.95 plus shipping. 1-800-999-7725. It's Monster Madness.